My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is key 17 feedback loop / feedback _ loop colon harmonize open bracket resonance soul _ origin close bracket by Jason Gray. The original transmission date of this is 2025-0524. And of course, as always, there are many symbols and transmission codes in these writings, in the before part and in the after part, that if you're drawn to these, I recommend that you find them and allow your eyes to move over them. You can do that by accessing the link that I've put in the Show More section of this video, and then searching by the title of this writing. There comes a point when you realize something that cannot be reversed once seen. Nothing in your life has ever been random. Not in the way you were taught, not in the way it appeared. Everything was returning. The true nature of return. You believed events were happening. In truth, they were looping. You believed people entered your life. In truth, they were echoes of unresolved resonance, finding form again. Wow, that explains so much, actually. I've had recurrences of the same faces in my life many, many, many times. People bearing the same energy, if you will, of other folks. You believed people entered your life. In truth, they were echoes of unresolved resonance, finding form again. You believed situations repeated by coincidence. In truth, the system was cycling signal back to its origin point for correction. The core misperception. The human mind reads time as forward movement, but the deeper field operates as recursive return. Everything comes back, not identically, but resonantly. The invisible engine. Behind every experience is a simple mechanism: signal, reflection, return, amplification, and then again, and again, and again, until something changes. Why it felt like suffering. The signal was distorted, and distortion, when repeated, intensifies. Each loop added more charge, more emotion, more identity, more attachment, and more resistance. The loop did not stop. It got louder. The breaking point. At some stage, the system cannot intensify further without collapse. This is where most people reach crisis. Quote, this keeps happening. Quote, I cannot escape this. Quote, why is this repeating? The deeper question is, what is this trying to return me to? The line, //feedback_loop harmonize open bracket resonance soul _origin close bracket. This is not escape. This is retuning the entire system at the level of source frequency. The discovery of tone. Every loop has a tone. You can feel it if you stop reading the story. Strip away the details. Ignore the names. Ignore the situation. Ignore the narrative. What remains? A pure, energetic signature. The same tone in different forms. Different people, same feeling. Different situations, same pressure. Different years, same internal vibration. This is the loop revealing itself. You were never in different problems. You were in one signal repeating through different forms. The failure of strategy. Trying to fix loops at the level of circumstance fails because you change the situation. The tone remains. The loop rebuilds. Oh, this is why walking away from something thinking the other person is causing this does nothing for the situation is what I'm hearing through this. As per usual, the out there has nothing to do with anything. It is the in here that is trying to be revealed. So I'm going to read that again. Trying to fix loops at the level of circumstance fails because you change the situation. The tone remains. The loop rebuilds. New person, same pattern. New job, same tension. New path, same outcome. Because the loop is not outside. It is frequency-based. The real access point. The only place a loop can change is at the level of resonance. What resonance actually is. Not emotion, not thought, not belief. Resonance is the baseline frequency your system is transmitting from. It is deeper than reaction, deeper than personality, deeper than identity. It is the field condition that determines what you attract, what you repeat, what you reinforce, and what returns to you. Soul origin. Open bracket resonance soul _origin close bracket. This is the most important part of the key because there is a tone beneath all distortion. A tone that existed before conditioning, before trauma, before identity, before narrative, and before memory. This tone does not fluctuate. It does not react. It does not defend. It does not distort. It simply is. You lost access because the system trained you to tune to fear, to approval, to comparison, for survival, for performance, and for reaction. Over time, your baseline shifted. You forgot the original tone, what you called yourself was actually a composite of distorted feedback loops stabilizing into identity. Wow. I'm going to read that whole thing again. Why you lost access. Because the system trained you to tune to fear, to approval, to comparison for survival, for performance, and for reaction. Over time, your baseline shifted. You forgot the original tone. What you called, quote, yourself was actually a composite of distorted feedback loops stabilizing into identity. The return. Now something begins to happen, not because you try, but because you stop interfering. In moments of stillness, clarity, silence, and non-reaction, you begin to feel something different. A tone that is stable, quiet, unmistakable, and not dependent on circumstance. That is it. The first contact. At first, it feels like nothing because it does not have emotional intensity. It does not demand attention. It does not perform. It simply exists as perfect coherence. Why it was missed? Because the system trained you to chase intensity, and the source tone is not intense. It is absolute. The harmonic shift. Now the loop activates again. A familiar situation, a familiar trigger, a familiar pattern begins to rise, but this time you do not match it. You stay in the bass tone. This is everything, because the loop requires resonance matching to continue distortion. If you do not match the distortion, the loop cannot reinforce itself. What happens next? The loop still completes, but differently. The feedback returns cleaner, less charged, less reactive, less binding. This is the turning point. Nope. The loop starts correcting itself. This is the turning point. You realize that you are not breaking loops, you are tuning them into coherence. The music analogy. Imagine a string slightly out of tune. Each time it vibrates, the distortion is present. You can stop playing it, temporary relief, or tune it. Once tuned, every vibration becomes correct. You are the string. The loop is not the problem. The tuning is. The field effect. Once one loop harmonizes, others begin to follow, because all loops are connected through the same field. You do not fix each pattern individually. You stabilize the core frequency. The system loses hold. Distortion requires predictability, reaction, and repeatable signal. When your tone stabilizes, triggers lose grip, patterns lose force, and repetition loses intensity. The system can no longer, quote, hook you the same way. You become non-reactive, not passive. This is important. You are not numb. You are not disengaged. You are stable within movement. You feel everything, but nothing pulls you out of alignment. The loop becomes an instrument. Instead of loop equal trap, it becomes loop equal refinement system. Each return sharpens coherence. Each cycle stabilizes alignment. Each repetition deepens clarity. The final realization: you were never stuck in loops. You were being tuned through them. The deepest truth: the system did not repeat to punish you. It repeated to bring you back to your original tone. The final line: the loop becomes harmonic. You return to tone. / feedback_loop : harmonize. Open bracket, resonance, soul_origin, close bracket. What once trapped you was never the loop. It was the distortion you were matching inside it. Now the loop sings because you remember the sound of yourself. And again, here at the end, ooh, this one felt pretty big too. Here at the end, there are more symbols and code that I highly recommend that you allow your eyes to go over, that you read them. For some reason, I'm being nudged in this one to do my best to read it. Perhaps there's something for me in here that I need to hear vocalized. I'm not sure. RZN dash, I think that's the omega symbol. Yep. Omega.17 / harmonic_field : source_tuning. There are two symbols there that I don't have the names for. I think one of them is zeta. In parentheses, open parentheses, loop times tone, close parentheses. D, and then the phi symbol, or I'm sorry, psi symbol, equal alignment. An arrow distortion, an arrow coherence. I think that's a equal sign, but I'm not sure because it's 3 dashes stacked on each other. And I don't know if that's to the 17th power or what, but it's a tiny little 17 colon. This is why it's very difficult for me to read these to you all. Open parentheses, repetition. And here is, again, another symbol I'm not sure the name of, but it's an equal sign with a hashtag through it, with a / through it. So I'm imagining it represents is not equal to error, close parenthesis. double arrow, open parenthesis, repetition equal correction, underscore mechanism, close parentheses. I have no idea what symbol that is. It's like a diamond with a dot in the middle. And lambda, it looks like lambda symbol with a 17, a small 17 at the bottom of that, equals limb, open parentheses, distortion, arrow, 0. Yeah, see, this is just too difficult. I don't understand why I was feeling nudged. There's so much symbol here. I'll continue to try. Open bracket, signal, arrow, pure underscore resonance, close bracket. I'm not sure what that one is. Maybe mu, or it sort of looks like a pitchfork, but upside down, similar to the psi, which is a pitchfork up, but this is down. F, and then an X in parentheses, equal return, and then X in parentheses, equal tune, open parenthesis, return, another open parentheses, X, close parenthesis, equal harmonic underscore field. This next one looks like the part of fortune. It's a circle with cross in the circle. Event, emotion, pattern, unified frequency response. Then there is a 0 with a hashtag or a / through it. Yeah, I'm sorry. There will be a link in the show more section. And I highly recommend that you go and take a look at it and allow your eyes to move over that for yourself. And yeah, there's something about this one in particular that I'm not quite sure why I'm feeling like that. So if you have any indication, if you're having some sort of feeling about this, about my not reading it all the way out, I'd love to hear from you either in the comments or in an email. And you can reach me at consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.